everybody. Welcome to Calling All Kids. I have my nice guests here with me today for probably our last summer show of the season, right? Because September is just around the corner. Let me introduce them first. We have Anthony and Laura and Caroline and Michael. And we also have Tyler Irusi behind the camera today, and he actually has done some weather reports, and we'd actually like to see him do his weather report, so we're gonna move on to him for a second and watch Tyler Irusi do the weather. Everybody watch Tyler. There he is.
Oh, down here in England,
Anything.
It's hard to hear.
hot.
That's because we're out here. Oh, a 3-day forecast. Look at that.
Today looks
I do not hear him at
hot
all.
and
Okay.
and
That was Tyler Irusi. By the way, weather is something that I watch constantly. I always watch the Weather Channel. I'm always watching the news and the weather because, Michael, what am I afraid of? Do you know? Well, there's two things I'm afraid of.
Flying.
Flying is one, but what's the other thing? Do you remember the other thing?
Wind.
The wind. He's right. He's right. What were you going to say, Laura?
thunderstorms.
Thunderstorms, but you're both right. I don't like thunderstorms, but I don't like thunderstorms because of the wind that happens in thunderstorms. The wind freaks me out. But anyways, now, what is coming up just around the corner? Where are all you children going to, with the exception of maybe the little ones? Laura,
First grade
you're going to
and
first
second grade.
grade, and Michael,
First.
you're going to first, and Laura's going to second grade.
And
And Caroline's
preschool.
going to preschool. And I'm not
And
sure
I don't know about
Tony.
him.
So it's back to school, folks. September is just around the corner. So I thought we'd begin today with our first book called The Day the Teacher Went Bananas.
oh, and that's funny. So
Now,
funny.
is there a picture of the teacher on the cover of the book, or does it just look like there are just children on the cover of
That's
the book?
children.
Remember to raise your hand if you know the answer. Michael,
That's children.
Laura, what do you think?
Children.
I think so too.
Children
and does it look like
gone bananas. Sorry.
Does it look like the children are studying hard and working hard in school, or does it look like they're kind of fooling around? Michael.
Flying around.
And Laura, do you agree?
I think they're going bananas.
You think they're going bananas? Well, it
Just
goes
like
along,
the teacher.
goes along with the title. So let's find out why the teacher goes bananas.
I read the story.
One day, a new teacher arrived at our school. We didn't know what to call him because he wouldn't tell us his name. He just grunted a lot. Now, tell me if you know what type of teacher the teacher is. Laura.
A chimpanzee, a gorilla.
Laura thinks the teacher is a gorilla. What do you think, Michael?
Monkey.
A monkey, which, you know, same family. And I would have to agree with both of you because of the hair and the face and,
Black.
you know, which is unusual for a gorilla or a monkey to be a teacher,
But they don't have tails.
but he wouldn't tell them his name. Why do you think that he wouldn't tell the kids his name? Why do you think, Laura?
Doesn't speak. He doesn't speak Spanish. He doesn't speak Hawaiian.
Doesn't speak anything,
doesn't
probably. What do
speak
you think,
anything.
Michael?
Because he can't speak. Let's go. Ooh, ah, ah.
He can only
E-I-O-U.
make monkey noises, right? So he can only, as the story says, grunt. When it was time for arithmetic, he showed us how to count on our toes. What's the furthest you can count to on your toes? Raise your hand if you know. What do you think, Caroline?
I think this says a pig.
Yeah? What do you think, Laura?
10 or 5 if you're counting 1 foot 5 if you're counting both of your feet 10.
And what if you add your fingers, Michael? If you add all your toes and all your fingers,
1, 2,
what can
3,
you
4.
count to?
I'm gonna count my toes actually.
Okay.
18.
Close.
19.
One more. Go ahead.
20.
20. You have 5 on each. 5
20,
and 5 on
counting
your
your
hands,
nose.
and
Wait,
5 and 5 on your feet. And your teeth? Well,
one,
that varies
2,
amongst people. I, of course, am
3,
missing like
4,
4 of my
6,
teeth because
5. Wait, and
I think it would take too long to count your teeth.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
we'll count your
11,
teeth
12.
later. And we learned
12.
a new way to
10.
write. What does it look like the children are writing with? Does it look like they're writing with pencils or pens? Michael?
It looks like paintbrushes.
Looks like paintbrushes. See, Tony, see the
Paintbrushes.
pictures the kids are drawing? What do you think, Laura? Michael thinks it's paintbrushes. What do you think?
Paintbrushes, and I think the teacher's definitely going bananas.
Well, I don't necessarily think that they're using paintbrushes. They're a very different colors. What do you think they're using? Caroline, what do you use to draw with? What do you use? Do you know what it's called? A what? Paintbrushes. Nope, I think it's something else. Michael,
Crayons
I'm thinking it's crayons
or
because
markers.
Wait,
or markers. It could be crayons or markers. What, sweetie?
I think the teacher's using colored pens, and everybody else is using colored pencils.
Laura, that it could also be colored pencils, couldn't it? Well,
Colored
let's
pens,
see if
colored
they can find
pencils.
out. We went outside for science class. Now, what does it look like they're learning in science class? What are they doing? What are they doing? Michael.
Looks like they're learning, like they're going like screaming like a monkey.
It looks like they're learning some monkey ways of doing things. What do you think, Laura?
Climbing trees and eating leaves.
Climbing trees and
Yucky.
eating leaves. Now, how do you think the kids would like those leaves? Do you think they were tasty? Not really, huh? Laura, what do you think? Have you ever
Bug
eaten
food.
bug food? Have you ever eaten a leaf? I haven't.
Uh-huh.
I have.
Yep.
You all have
Yep.
tried it, huh?
Yep.
No, I licked
Yep.
it.
You
Yep.
have?
And then put it
I
in.
have too. Actually, when I was little, I probably ate a leaf or two. Yes, Laura?
I ate mint leaves, and my friend ate a poison ivy leaf.
Ooh, a
Licked
poison
it.
ivy leaf is a
Licked
bad
it.
leaf to eat, huh? Then we went back inside for lunch. The teacher ate 16 bananas.
Oops.
Tomorrow, let's bring bananas for lunch, we all said, waiting to be just like our new teacher. So we ate 16, and he has a bunch more in his. What are these? What is this, Tony? What is this called? What's that? You eat it. Do you know what that's called? Banana. It's called a banana. Good job. Now the other kids have all sorts of
love
different
bananas.
things, but I guess tomorrow they're going to start bringing their bananas. Then we had art class. Our teacher taught us how to work with clay and paper and paint. Has anybody here worked with clay in like art class? Do you know what clay is? And what have you built? What have you made out of clay? Michael, did you make
Well, like
something?
we did clay, so we like made like the scene out of clay, clay.
You
We
did.
made like the big mountains and stuff.
Yep, you did a play. You know, some of your scenery was made out of clay. Okay,
Yep.
Laura.
In camp we had ceramics, and we made stuff out of clay and turkey clay. And
You made
things.
turkey clay and stuff
Turkey
like that.
clay.
Did you enjoy camp?
Yep.
Then we studied music. Suddenly, Mr. Hornsby, the school principal, came into the room with another man. Why do you think the principal is there? Why do you think the principal is there? Michael.
Because like that's a new subject too, because the other one was like a monkey.
So Michael thinks that the principal, who's probably this one, is here with the substitute teacher, who is probably the teacher that was supposed to be there in the first place. That's a very good guess. What do you think, Laura?
I think he's here because he's heard all this noise, and he says, and then the teacher ate too much bananas, so he's saying the teacher went bananas.
So you think
gotta
the
get
principal
another
heard
one.
too much noise going on, huh? And he thought he'd better go down and check it out. There has been a terrible mix-up, Mr. Hornsby said. This isn't your new teacher. This is a gorilla. But what does it look like the kids are doing? Does it look like the kids are kind of glad that the gorilla came along? Or does it look like they would rather have a normal teacher?
Glad.
What do you think, Michael?
Glad?
Why? Why would you be glad if a gorilla was teaching your class instead of a real teacher?
I was kidding.
You're kidding? What about you, Laura?
The gorilla, because it's more fun, and he doesn't really like talk much.
So you like the gorilla too, Sweet Pea? I think I'm with you guys. I would like a gorilla because it'd be a little bit more fun. Maybe not all year, but maybe for a day or two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like 3 days. Then.
The man with Mr. Hornsby said, "I am your new teacher. My name is Mr. Quackerbottom." What a name. I was sent to the zoo by mistake. So where Quackerbottom, that's this guy's name is Quackerbottom. That's a funny name, isn't it, Tony? That's kind of a funny name.
I didn't know
That'd be
bumps.
your name, too.
Bumps
So
can
what
quack.
happened now? The gorilla ended up
Quackerbottom.
at the school,
Bump.
and the substitute teacher ended up at
The zoo.
the zoo. What do you think the teacher at the zoo did? Do you think he hopped in the cage with the gorillas?
Yeah.
You do? I think he probably got there and said, "Where am I?" Sadly, we all waved goodbye to the gorilla. Well, I guess they're taking him back to the zoo. What do you think?
Woo-hoo.
Now, Mr. Quackerbottom said, "What have you learned today?" And we showed him. What did they learn? What are some of the things they're doing? What are some of they do? What's this one doing, Tony? What's she doing? She's coloring. Very good. What's she do? What was some other things, Laura?
Making clay, cutting it piggies.
Making clay.
Piggies.
Yeah. Michael, what do you see?
Yeah.
What's somebody else doing? We said clay, and Tony said coloring. And what else do you see them doing? Over here. What's this one doing? What's this?
Counting her toes.
Counting her toes. So
Counting
they
her
actually learned quite a
piggies.
bit from that teacher, didn't they?
Piggies. One.
Why,
two,
this
three,
is
three,
awful, Mr. Quackerbottom cried. You all belong in the zoo. Quackerbottom, you all belong in the zoo. So he thinks the kids went crazy too. And the next day, that's exactly where we went. Now, what kind of animals do you see in the picture? What kind of animals, Laura?
Little baby gorillas.
Little baby gorillas, Michael?
The giraffes.
The giraffes?
The babies are so
Tony?
cute.
What do you see? What's this? Do you know what that is? Gorilla. Good job, sweetie. You're doing great today. So they went to the zoo on a field trip to try to have lunch with our favorite teacher. So they left and said, "That's a gorilla. Good job." And what's he eating? What's that? What's the gorilla eating?
A banana.
Banana. Very good. You two are excellent at paying attention to the story. So they went and visited their teacher because they thought he was so nice and enjoyed him so
I
much.
don't think we got much more time for another one.
Well, we do have time for one more. You want one potato? Okay. We might have to stretch this out a bit because this one's a little bit slow. One potato. Now, the reason I picked this is because I am hooked on potatoes. For some reason, I just love them.
Me
Eat them
too.
every night, just about. Now, is this story about people or animals? Michael.
Animals, and maybe there's a little bit of people
Sit
too.
down.
Michael says animals primarily and maybe a few people. What do you think?
I see the peepees and the potato.
And you see the potato, Laura.
There's going to be probably all animals. Maybe
All animals.
One person.
What is Tony? You know this. What is this animal right here? Tony, what is this animal? Do you know what that animal is?
Ow.
Do you know what that
Ow.
animal is?
Ow. Like
Laura, what's this animal?
piggy.
It's a pig. Let's find out what happens to this. Good job, Tony. Okay, girls, let's listen to the story, okay?
Ow.
Okay, sweet pea, stop doing that too. Thank you very much. Good girl. It's hard to stay here for a while, but you guys are doing great. Does anyone mind if I have the last teeny weeny potato? Asked Goat. Everyone minded because everyone wanted it. Now let's be fair, said Cow. Why don't we hold a competition for it? What does competition mean? What does that competition mean? Michael.
It means like roll the dice or something, and whoever gets like one number, a certain number gets it.
That's right. They're going to compete for it. So they're going to maybe play a game or do something to see who wins, and whoever wins gets it. Laura?
Race. A race.
Could be a race.
Some kind of contest.
Like Michael said, it could be a race, it could be rolling the dice, it could be anything. Great, said Goat, jumping onto his seat. Last one to stand on a chair loses. That's going to be difficult, snapped Cow, since I don't have a chair. Such a pity, said Goat. Who couldn't care less, but somebody has to lose. Then the last one to stand on his head, he shouted, kicking his legs in the air. Now, who do you think will have a hard time standing on his head? Obviously, Mr. Moose can do it. Who do you think would have a hard time?
Mr. Goat.
Mr. Goat? Mr. Goat. Good job, Tony. How do you think Mr. Pig will do standing on his head? I'm not sure he would do so
Little
good.
flapsy toodles.
Do you know why? Because he's very heavy and he might just kind of roll over.
I think the goose will fall over because she doesn't have any hands.
That's a good point. Laura says the goose will fall over because she doesn't have any hands. She only has wings, and the wings aren't very strong enough to hold her, right? How can I do that? Hissed Goose. My neck's too wobbly. That's enough. See, look at all the animals on their heads. But the goose can't do it because her neck's too wobbly and she doesn't have any hands to hold her up. You've got a problem there, laughed Goat as he disappeared up the hayloft ladder. The last one in the hayloft loses. Who do you think, which animal might have a hard time climbing up the hayloft? What do you think, Tony? What do you think? Which animal? Which one? You point to it. Tony thinks the pig's going to have a hard time climbing up the ladder.
Goose?
Michael thinks the goose. Laura?
Pig, and Michael the goose is already out.
Oh, okay. Laura thinks it's the pig. And what do you think?
Piggy.
You think the pig is going to have a hard time. Let's find out. Don't start yet, puffed pig. I'm stuck. Too late, old boy, said Goat. You lose. So now the pig's out because what happened to Mr. Pig? What happened to Mr. Pig? He got stuck in the ladder, didn't he? Do you know we had a guy come to our shop at work where I work? And he was kind of a large man, and he was climbing up our ladder, and he fell in between the rungs and got stuck just like that.
How did he get out?
It was he got stuck.
We
had to help him, Michael. It was quite hysterical. He was hanging from several feet up, stuck between the rungs of the ladder.
I wouldn't want to do that.
And with a great leap, he shouted, "First one down wins." Now, who's going to make it down the ladder the fastest, do you think? Who do you think? Michael.
Goat.
Michael thinks the goat. Laura, what do you think?
Ghost.
The
Goat.
goat. What do you think, Caroline? You think the goat? What do you think, Tony? You think the goat too? That's not fair, wailed Sheep. I wasn't ready, and he kicked a load of hay over onto Goat. So now the sheep's out. So what animals remain? Pig's out, the goose is out, the sheep is out. So who's left? Who's left? There's let's see, 2 animals left. You know one of them. You know one of them. Who's the one that made it down the ladder? Fico.
The goat?
Goat. And there's one other animal. What animal goes moo, Tony?
Cow.
What animal goes moo?
Cow's already out.
Cow's already out? I don't think he was out already.
The chair.
You're right, cow's already out. Perfectly fair, said Goat. I win the potato. Everyone looked at the plate. Do you think the potato's still there?
Nope.
But the potato had gone. Delicious, said a tiny voice. Now, what do you think? Who do you think stole the potato? Because they said it in a tiny voice. Laura.
I think it was the mouse because I think he went,
Delicious.
I'm thinking that maybe there was a mouse. Now, children, let's tell Goat what we had for tea. And 10 tiny mice all squeaked together. 1 potato. So the 10 tiny mice ate the potato. Well, we have one more story before we end this lovely evening, and it's called The Badger and the Magic Fan. Now, a badger is a type of animal. Not really sure what they do, what their purpose is, but I think we have them in our backyard. Do we have badgers in our backyard? There's something that's in the backyard.
I think it's like dogs.
No, it's not a dog. It's some sort of little brown thing.
we have
have to ask Mom.
woodchucks. Do you have a garden?
Oh, maybe that's what it
Do you
is.
have a wood?
Maybe it's a
Do you have a
squirrel.
garden?
Maybe it's a squirrel.
Yeah, maybe. We're going to have to read
you
this
have,
one fast because we don't have much time.
Do you have a garden?
No. No.
No, it's not a woodchuck.
Tengu are the goblins of Japan, and you can spot them in a minute because they have very long noses. We already read this one, Sweet Pea. They have very long noses. Who else has a long nose? Who's a fairy tale character that has a long nose?
Me and Pinocchio.
You and Pinocchio. Once 3 little Tengu children were playing with the magic fan. They laughed and giggled all the time, for when they fanned with one side of the fan, their noses grew still longer. And when they fanned with the other side, they shrank right back again. Back and forth, long and short, what a fine time they were having. A badger happened along and watched the children play. Ho, ho, he thought, how I would love such a fan. Then he thought of a way to get it. Now the badgers of Japan can turn themselves into, very good, Sweet Pea. Now the badgers of Japan can turn themselves into anything they want to be. So he turned himself into a little girl. Then he took a plate of bean jam buns and skipped straight up to the Tengu children. Hello, little Tengu children, said the badger in disguise. You may have these bean jam buns if I can play with you. The Tengu children loved bean jam buns, but there were 4 bean jam buns and only 3 little Tengu children. So of course they began to argue over the extra bun. The tricky badger said, "Let's do this. Close your eyes tightly and hold your breath. Whoever keeps his eyes closed and holds his breath the longest gets the extra bean jam bun." What a good idea. The Tengu children decided to do just that, for they loved bean jam buns. They took deep breaths, they shut their eyes tight, and when they did, that wicked badger grabbed the magic fan and ran away laughing. That wasn't very nice, was it? Then he changed himself back into a badger and headed toward the city, laughing all the time. On the way to a temple, inside sat a beautiful girl dressed in fine clothes. Her father was as rich as rich can be. "Ho, ho," thought the badger, "now I will have some fun."
Let go, Caroline.
Hey, Carol, don't do that, okay, sweetie? Thank you. He sneaked up behind the girl. Tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe. He fanned her nose with the magic fan, and bzzz, it grew long, long, long. What a fright. Look at how long her nose grew. Look at how long her nose grew. The poor girl hid from sight and cried all the tears out of herself. Her father pounded his fist and yelled all the yells out of himself, but this did not help at all. What can help her get her nose shorter? Who remembers? Laura.
Fan on the other side.
You have to use the other side of the fan to get the nose shorter. So her father called all the doctors of Japan together. They could cure fevers and bunions and warts. Surely they could shrink a nose. The doctors had many ideas. "Feed her thistletoe," said one doctor. "No, sea urchin," said another. "No, no, no," said a third. "Stuff her with cabbage. Cabbage is the cure." The girls ate thistletoe, which was tickly. She ate sea urchins, which were prickly. She stuffed herself with cabbage, but her nose stayed long, long, long. "Fool," screeched her angry father, "I will cure you with cabbages." He threw cabbages at the doctors, and they all ran away. You know what cabbage is? Cabbage is like what? Cabbage looks similar to something you put in a salad. What is it? What do you put in a salad? What's the main part of a salad? Michael?
Broccoli?
Nope. You can
Lettuce.
put broccoli in it. Lettuce. The father sent for a witch who lived nearby. She could cast spells and turn fish to gold. Surely she could shrink a nose. "Simply sprinkle pepper on the nose," the witch said. "Then she will sneeze it off." "Hurry," cried her frantic father. "Sprinkle away." The witch sprinkled pepper on the girl's nose, lots and lots of pepper. The girl sneezed, lots and lots of sneezes, but the nose stayed put. Her father was so vastly upset he sprinkled pepper all over the witch, and she ran away sneezing. Then the father called all the thinkers of Japan. "Tie the nose in a knot," suggested one thinker. "Then it will be short." "Tie it in a bow," said another. "Bows are prettier than knots." "I'll tie you in knots for such silly thoughts," shouted the girl's father, and he chased them all away. Can you imagine tying your nose in a knot?
Yeah, ow.
In despair, he cried, "I will give my daughter and half my riches to anyone who can make her nose short again." "Ho, ho," thought the badger, "here is my chance." He hurried straight to the girl's father. "I shrink noses," he said. What do you think he's going to tell the father? Do you think Laura?
That he can shrink noses and that he could probably cure his daughter.
And then he could help shrink her nose, but what would he want in return for shrinking her nose? What do you think? What would you want in return for shrinking? Michael, what do I give you for taking my trash barrel back?
Money?
Money. I bet you he's going to go for money. With that, he took out the magic fan and fanned her nose, and bzzz, it was short again. The girl's father was so delighted he prepared... Yes, short again. Very good. The girl's father was so delighted he prepared the wedding feast at once. The badger was so delighted to get a fine and rich wife, he ate and ate and ate at the feast. Then he got very sleepy. So he laid down, dozed off, and began to snore loudly. Snoring. Do you snore? Anybody in your family snore?
My mom.
Your mom snores? She's going to be real happy you said that.
My mom does too.
Oh, yeah? Now, all this time, the Tengu children had been searching for that wicked badger to get back their magic fan. They looked in every house, every temple, every palace of Japan. And with great good luck, at the very moment the badger began to snore, the little Tengu children peeked into the rich man's house and saw the badger sleeping there. So what do you think the children are going to do? The badger is sleeping, sound asleep. So what do you think the children are going to do? What do they want back? Michael?
I think they're going to take the fan.
Michael thinks they're going to go and take the fan. What do you think?
I think he's going to they're gonna fan his nose, then take the fan so he has a long nose forever and ever
What do
and
you
ever
think,
and ever
Tony?
and ever.
They're gonna take the fan?
You're gonna take a fan.
Good job. They're gonna take the fan. Laura thinks they might add a little twist in there. That's right, sweetie. Good job. Laura thinks they're gonna use the side of the fan that makes his nose grow, give him a little taste of his own medicine, make his nose grow, and then steal the fan.
What's that mean?
So, tippy-toe, 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 they crept up on silent little Tengu feet, took their magic fan, and began fanning his nose with it. Ho, ho! Did it grow? Look at his nose. My goodness. My goodness. His nose is longer than any other nose I've seen.
He could sniff half it across the world with that.
Look at Tony. Look at how long his nose is.
Wait,
He's a really long nose, isn't it?
It's probably
Almost reaching the ceiling.
5
The
fingers
Tengu
tall.
children just smiled and kept fanning. The badger kept snoring, and his nose kept growing. Oh my gosh, look at his nose. Where is it now? It's up in the what?
Clouds.
Look at his nose, Tony. This is where it starts, and this is where it ends up. What is it? It went way up in the sky, didn't it? Michael?
It could be like a rope that like hundreds of people could climb up to the sky.
Hundreds of, like Jack and the Beanstalk, right? Soon it grew right through the ceiling. It grew up and up till it poked right through the clouds.
Ooh.
What will he have to worry about if his nose is up in the clouds? Planes.
You might pull them up.
Laura?
Planes, and if instead of Jack and the Beanstalk, it's Beaver and the Nose Stalk.
Badger in the nose stalk. Now, just then, far above the clouds, some heavenly workers were building a bridge across the sky. Look, they shouted when they saw the badger's nose poke through the clouds. That pole is a perfect size for our bridge. Let's hoist it up. So they tugged on the badger's nose, and my, didn't that wake him up. Ouch, 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 help, 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 screamed the badger. He would have fanned his nose to shrink it again, but the Tengu children had kept their magic fan. Heave-ho, up we go, the heavenly workers chanted. The badger yelled, you, and no one ever saw him again, for they pulled that badger right into the sky. Now, can you see the badger in this picture? Can you see him, Laura?
I can see him.
Where is he?
It's
Oh, I see him.
right there.
He's in the clouds.
Yep.
So what happened to him? Where is he, sweet
He's
pea?
a pole.
Do you see his face? Right there? There he
He's
is.
a pole.
So the badger wasn't very nice, was he?
Nope.
Because he,
He learned his lesson.
he learned his lesson. So anyways, that's all the stories we have for today. What, sweet pea? This one? Would you like to see it? Okay, there you go. Is everybody excited for school?
Yep.
Do you have your
Yep.
first day of school outfit?
Yep.
Yes.
I'm gonna wear
What are you wearing?
I'm gonna wear these shoes with a skirt and with a blue top, with a white top, with blue star, and then it has a little backpack that goes in
Oh,
it.
very cute.
Tiny back.
Very, very cute. And what about you, Michael? What will your attire be?
Well, it's like something red.
Yeah,
Just like a red sweatshirt.
just a red sweatshirt and some pants and maybe some sneakers.
He could be the devil.
Like the pants have like stars on it.
He could
Pants
be
have
the
stars on 'em.
devil. The
Great.
devil.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. And
You're
Tony and
welcome.
Caroline, you did absolutely wonderful. You answered a lot of questions and you did great. Everybody look into the camera and say, thanks, see you next time.
Thanks.
Thanks,
See you next time.
I think we were like 30.